Hey there. I'm interested in watching this. This is a stream that's going on right now. Sorry, I'm checking something. That I rewound a little bit because I like what. Put this here. I like what these guys. This is a stream I watch sometimes. Apologetics Roadshow, and I guess these guys had on. I'm gonna rewind.
1 second, because we've got someone who knows way more than any of you clowns. And
hello.
Definitely more than me. I only know what I've heard from other people over the past few years. But now, hey, we've got Mohammed Faridi here. So, hey, how you doing, brother?
Good. Thanks for having me, and thanks for all the chat people that got their attention. That they did the job, the actual job. So yes.
All right, so we've got some clips to watch and so on, but you're, as far as I know, significantly more knowledgeable than probably most of the people will be watching in the clips. So anything you want to say here at the beginning to update everyone?
First thing, yes, absolutely. First thing, congratulations to the Iranian people. I know you're in the chat, you're watching. You've been waiting for this moment 40 some years. We didn't know what we were getting 47 years ago in 1979. We didn't know what we were getting. They promised Ayatollah Khomeini. I'll explain the names too, because Khomeini is not Khamenei. These are two different names from two different cities. Their last names are derived from two different cities in Iran. So Khomeini offered us free electricity and public transportation, and he's going to bring back the reputation. And under a just Islamic system, we will have the left utopia, but Islamic version of it. Of course, we didn't know what we were getting. Right after 1979, Iran went to a horrific war with its neighboring country, Iraq. Iranians were fighting Iraqis 8 years. The country was already in the shock of revolution. Now 8 years of war, tens of thousands of people who freed. They were thinking they freed Iran and handed over to the Ayatollah. Now they went to the war zones and then they died. And then by the time in 1990s, as we were realizing what a tragedy is happening to our nation, it was too late. The regime of Iran, the Islamic regime of Iran, consolidated all the power. They were sitting on the throne strong enough with their iron fist. They killed all the opposition. There was nothing but the Sharia. And then we realized we didn't get any free stuff. And then we got the Islamic regime and its Sharia. And then if you didn't practice Sharia, they had the Sharia police enforcing on the streets. For example, during Ramadan, if you break your fast, they would lash you 80 times. And the women had to cover up completely. And then, of course, many times the Iranians came out to protest. They came out to get some sort of a space from this regime. And the regime, with all its brutality, with all evil, it came down on the Iranian people, shut down protests, killed thousands of Iranians throughout the years. And then the most horrific one of it was this past month of January, and now it's actually March, in about 5 weeks ago, that they killed, they say, upward of 90,000 people. I have spoken to my family in Iran. All of my family are in Iran. And some of them, they told me that any relatives, anybody that they know, they have lost one or two members of their families to this regime savagery. Many of the people were detained, arrested, in prison, and tortured, raped. And they kept the body bags. These evil people, they kept the body bags because they wanted to reuse them for such situation as this. And when there would be an attack, they would say, look, the Israeli attacks or the American attacks are killing the Iranian. Well, they killed the Iranian people. We had Iranians go and pick up their body of their loved ones, and they would make them to pay for the bullets that they killed the Iranian people. This regime is one evil, weird, evil to unimaginable evil that they have ruled in this nation. But thank God, finally, we had in 2009, we had the Green Movement, which Obama betrayed the Iranian people and sent pallets of, instead of jets, instead of B-2 bombers, they sent pallets of cash to Iran to earn their trust to bring him to the negotiation table. Like,
can't
look,
negotiate.
just imagine how stupid a president could possibly be, negotiating with terrorists. And then
Apocalyptic terrorists.
that didn't work. And then 2023, we had Mahsa Amini, the girl that didn't wear her hijab and she was killed. Iranians came, and we had the same situation, and Biden was in power. And we were thinking, God, if Trump was in the power and something such as this would have happened, this would have been different.
That's
And
what
now
happens with Sharia law.
we see the difference. Trump told them that if you kill the Iranian people, guns are locked and loaded, help is on the way. It was a little confusing. We were losing hope because we're talking upward of 90,000 to 100,000 people have been killed by this regime last month. And the Iranians look back, where is the help that President Trump promised? Because they knew if he said help is on the way, it's going to come. Anyway,
To do it right,
it took him a while. I know they have a lot of planning to do. I know there's so much things that goes into the details of this mobilization and all that, which we normal people can't comprehend. But thank God that they have arrived, and then they killed the head of the octopus that was in Tehran. This evil Ayatollah is killed. I promise you, upward of 90% of the Persians in Iran and diaspora, they are rejoicing it. This has been the best news to them. Imagine this person just this past week. They were quoting chapter 2 of the Quran. I think it's verse 193 or 197. They were saying that Allah has commanded us to kill as many to get rid of the discord that is in the land. These people were killing us and quoting us the Quran. But now who's going to quote the Quran to them? So he joined his predecessor, whatever that word is. So Khomeini was the original Ayatollah, and Khamenei, which died last night, he was the person who replaced that guy. Which they outdid one another in evil, and thank God for President Trump. CIA gave him. I looked at to see who did what. CIA gave him the intel, and one Israeli pilot shot him and killed him. And not only he's dead, his son, his daughter-in-law, and 30-some member of the cabinet, the Islamic Shia think tank is obliterated. And that is good news. If you're an American, if you're a Westerner, if you're a Christian, if you're from Israel, wherever you're watching, you should be rejoicing. And this is a new day. Sorry to talk too fast and too much, but this is just, I'm so excited. I haven't been sleeping two nights now. It's been,
wow. Me neither.
The tide has turned. The Iranian people are ready. As you have mentioned on your lives and on this show, 2/3 of the Iranians don't believe in Islam. Out of the 75,000 mosques, 50,000 closed in 2023, and in 2026, the Iranian protesters, they were burning down the mosques and the shrines and the Islamic symbols. They are done. Brothers and sisters, the Persian people are done with the evil of Islam, and they're already moved on from it. Now tell us what's next. Who's going to fill the vacuum? There would be no vacuum. We have the prince. He is very much a democratic leader. He talks about being pro-Israel, pro-America, and pro-Christians and minorities.
Oh.
He has openly talked about it. Many people believe that he's even an ex-Muslim Christian. Many people. Today, a Christian pastor was praying for him, for godly wisdom, and he was standing there humbly with a bowed head and closed eyes, listening to those prayers. We have the replacement. He has a plan to replace this regime. Just keep praying that nobody talks about ceasefire. We don't want ceasefire. We don't want none of that. We want this regime to cannot find holes that they hide in. Because Iranians are done with it, Persians are done with it. We're ready to move on from Islam to replace this with something much more open that is going to benefit everybody. The fastest growing evangelical church is inside Iran. This is true. We're working with them. We have underground churches everywhere. Every little town, cities, villages, there's underground churches in it. And the Iranian underground church is going to come on the ground by the grace of God, and you just watch the revival that is happening. It's going to be awesome. So
Oh,
I'm done.
awesome stuff, and thank you for joining us because I can't speak for myself, but these two guys are with me. I mean, what do they know? So, oh yeah, but
We don't even know the difference between Khomeini.
Khomeini and Khamenei, two different people from two different cities.
yeah. Yeah, so you're right. It wasn't long ago when I always have like kind of mixed feelings on the United States intervening in places because it's like, okay, if the United States is successful in taking out a regime and stuff, you don't want to be the regime that was installed by the U.S. There's always going to be like a shadow over you, and like you're puppets of the U.S. and so on. So I don't know, but at the same time, like this is a terrorist regime. There's like terrorist attacks all over the world that are all connected to these guys. So like, how do you navigate that? But like me and AP, we agreed. It's like, when you tell people, hey, people, you rise up and we've got your back. If you do not, then you just made a promise. As far as I'm concerned, you made a promise, and if you don't keep that promise, they have no business trusting you ever again. So when they didn't do anything, it was like, seriously? I mean, if you let them crush and kill all these people, like who's ever going to rise up again? You may have just helped the regime right there if they crush everyone and no one does anything.
Came to that junction. President Trump truly came to that junction because he pushed himself up there. He said to the Iranian people, go on the streets, occupy the institution. And he said, help is on the way. And the Iranians believed him because they know who he is. He just says it and he keeps his word. And they did. But I think he jumped the gun. I really believe that. When he said it, he didn't expect that amount of Iranians come on the streets and protest and get killed. I don't think they expected it and they were ready for it. But thank God, it doesn't matter. The Iranian families, the Iranian mothers who lost their loved ones into this, now they're celebrating. They already have forgotten what has happened, the tragedies. We have families in Iran have lost fathers, mothers, sisters, brothers, sons to these many relatives. I have Iranian believers that they have told me they have lost their cousins, many people, and but now this event last night turned the tide, truly turned the tide, and now the hope is engaged in their hearts once again. So that's he was at that junction. I believe that with all of my heart, what you said is true, because if he would have not delivered, there would be probably it would have taken a generation to just trust Americans once again, or the American government once again.
Now we definitely want to get through a couple of clips. We definitely want to hear Trump's speech and so on. But before we do, just if you could just give us like a little bit of like your background.
Well, I was a Shia Muslim, born and raised in Iran. My uncle is a martyr for Islam. Our family, we have a street to our last name. My uncle Muro, if you search his name today, you will find him, Abulqasem Faridi. He was a major leader when he died. He had 4 children, and our family was well respected. I grew up thinking about martyrdom. I grew up thinking about being a sacrifice for the cause of Islam. That was my goal. I graduated high school. I was trained by the IRGC, Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, as a martyr. Part of our training was actually they took us to the border of Iran and Iraq, and then they said this is the holy ground watered by the blood of the martyrs, and they laid us in empty tombs and graves during the night to fight the fear of death. That was part of our training. When they tell you Muslim love death over as much as you love life as Christian, it is truth. We were thinking dying is the highest goal, highest value that you will ever earn as a Muslim. And then I was dreaming about this, praying to Allah to give me the honor to become like my uncle. Came back from my military service, talked to a friend of mine who was were identical in age. He's 3 days older than me. He was medically exempt. I was trying to get, his name is Rasul, ironically, means the apostle in Farsi. So Rasul, he was medically exempt. I was, after I came back, I wanted to get caught up with him. I talked to him a few minutes. He said he wants to come out and see me. And a few minutes, I realized Rasul has changed, and I couldn't exactly tell what was the matter with him. And then he said, Muhammad, I have become Christian. I said, what? Is Christianity something you become? I want you to consider what he did with a little more care, because now I just came out of IRGC. This is happening inside Iran. That's how much he cared for me. That's how much he loved me to dare to tell me the truth. And he said that Jesus Christ has been sacrificed for you. He was beaten, bruised, cut. His precious blood was shed, and he gave up his life that you have eternal life. David, folks, when he told me that, something went right into my heart. I mean, it's like my heart was cut into two pieces.
Wow.
And I was just felt naked before a holy God, having nothing to offer. Everything I was trying to do as a Shia Muslim, beating myself, get a sword, cutting myself, shedding my own blood, dreaming about dying for the sake of Allah. I just realized it was finished in the person of Jesus Christ. And that's the best thing I've ever heard in my life. And that moment, I accepted the Lord, became a Christian, Islam being very tolerant and very beautiful religion. I was so excited to tell my parents, especially my dad, because, you know, he lost his dad, his brother into this war, and he was a family of martyrs. Imagine. Of course, that's with a bit of sarcasm, but I lived as an underground believer inside Iran, evangelizing, sharing the gospel, distributing Bibles and CDs of God is love. And then our church was attacked, and I had to flee the nation of Iran, and God miraculously, truly miraculously brought me to the U.S. as a religious refugee, and have lived here 13 and a half years, and I'm grateful forever to God. And we just can't wait. Now we just can't wait to go back to Iran and openly share the gospel with all of the Iranians. This is going to be just awesome.
Miracle.
Praise God.
That is awesome, awesome stuff. You hear that, Isa? You hear all that, Isa?
He's not a Christian.
Not sure if you're familiar with Isa here.
No, I'm not. I'm a little caught off guard because this is some probably internal joke that I'm like, what is happening?
No, Isa, who's here with us, he's a Sufi Muslim, so he's not he's not like the other guys. He gets along with us, and we're all friends and stuff like that. But yeah,
what an interesting name you have, Isa. Isa is.
Thank you.
When we pray as Christians of Iran. Actually, let me show you this Bible. So if you look at this, it says the gospel of
David's rough.
Isa Masih.
Yeah.
So your name is the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, man.
Left on the thing.
You hear that, Isa?
His name's Jesus.
Isa has died for you, brother, has given his life.
You heard it here, Isa. You heard it here, buddy.
Amen.
All right, let's finish watching this Trump speech. It's yeah, I think it's like
about 5 more minutes, and then after that I go. But I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity. Thanks for the rest of the brothers that are here too.
Oh, did you said you have to go in a couple minutes?
5 more minutes. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, we'd rather talk to you then. I mean, we're gonna listen to Trump, but yeah, we'd rather hear from you. You got any questions, Jai or Isa?
Yeah, I was going to ask about the Christian community in Iran. Like, I know you have some Armenians there as well, but I'm really curious about the Muslims who became Christians. If you can talk a little bit more about that.
Absolutely. In 1994, 1995, and 1996, the Iranian regime kidnapped and killed 6 major heads of the church, the Assemblies of God and other churches that 2 of them were Armenians, 4 of them were ex-Muslim. They were head of the churches inside Iran. And they thought, the Islamic regime of Iran thought, when we decapitate the heads of the Christian movement of Iran, this is going to be done away with. They killed those people. Bishop Haik was the biggest leader at that time, the biggest name in that time. And then there was an ex-Muslim, Mahdi Dibaj, that the court of Iran they marked him, and then they prosecuted him as an apostate, and he was on a death row. Bishop Haik leaked his documentation to the world. The founder of our ministry, actually, Abe Ghaffari, went in front of the Congress here in the U.S. and kind of advocated for Mehdi Dibaj, and then the international pressure, and they went under the light of the international pressure, the Islamic regime, that what are you doing? And this is absolutely evil. So they let Mehdi Dibaj go because of the international pressure. But unfortunately, later, he was killed. And Bishop Hike, he was kidnapped and he was stabbed 26 times. They called themselves the anonymous soldiers of Mahdi. They killed this man, stabbed him 26 times, cut his heart. And then one of those ex-Muslims were hung up one of those ex-Muslim pastors was hung up in front of his house with a note to his chest. He was lynched in front of his home in that street. And then they put a note on his chest that this is what you get as an apostate. And they were thinking, okay, we took care of the Christianity in Iran. And then lo and behold, by this time, 10 years later, I got saved in 2006. But in 2004, 2005, and 2006, I have met thousands of Iranians. Personally, I have met thousands of ex-Muslim Iranians who have come to Christ in those years, 10 years after that. And then Ahmadinejad came in 2008, which he was killed last night in the attacks. The president of Iran came in front of the parliament of Iran and said that Christians are stealing the Islamic soldiers, the Muslim soldiers, out of the camp of Islam, and they're taking it into the camp of Christianity. So there were so many Muslims, our age, millennials, that they were converting to Christianity that took his attention. He took it to the parliament of Iran, and they took it from a normal level of security to a national level of security. And that's in 2008, 2009, our church, the Network of the Believer I was working with, it got attacked and many people were arrested. Unfortunately, I had to escape. But lo and behold, as these things are happening in Iran, they were thinking, okay, we're going to get rid of Christianity again. And Christianity is something evil. They start propagating against it. That they call us evangelical Christians are evil, and they're Zionist Christians and so many things. And they were arresting us and prosecuting us, many believers, 5, 10, 15 years in prisons and being tortured. And then these Iranians now left, they came to diaspora, and the internet was getting something that is going to change the Muslim world. And it is amazing. The satellite TV, internet, and the cell phones has become the catalyst of the change to getting the message into the hand of the Muslims, separated from the peer pressure and scrutiny and that umbrella of monopoly that existed in Islam, that they controlled the mind of the Muslims. Now Iranians are hearing about Christ, and I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, the numbers are in millions. It is the most amazing movement. It is I call it the great exodus, the great walkaway. It is truly the tsunami of ex-Muslims who are leaving Islam and coming to the faith in the Lord Jesus Christ. And we will see it in this, whenever this regime falls, and then the Iranian Christians will come out, you will see the concerts, the worship concert that fill stadiums, 80, 100,000 Iranians going to worship the Lord in Iran.
I'm going to go over there.
Wow. Imagine how long from now we could actually just go over to Iran and
hell yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
have a
I love you guys. I got to go, but I'll be... by the grace of God, if you want to have me, I'll come back. Love you guys. I appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
God bless you.
Okay, God bless you. I'll ask my question later.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. He said he'd be willing to join us. But yeah, sounds busy because got lots of breaking news and so on. I'm sure he has all kinds of connections and family and friends and so on who are just loving this right now. Awesome times. All right, let's go ahead and finish watching the Trump clip, and then we'll hear from some people and see what's up. Let's go.
Surrender into saving their lives. They want immunity. They're calling by the thousands.
He's talking. I saw a news headline where he said people in the Iranian regime are asking for immunity and stuff, so that they want to work out a deal and so on. But hang on, let me back up.
The entire military command is gone as well, and many of them want to surrender into saving their lives.
Don't let them do that.
They want immunity.
They don't deserve
They're calling by the thousands. Combat operations continue at this time in full force, and they will continue until all of our objectives are achieved. We have very strong objectives. They could have done something 2 weeks ago, but they just couldn't get there.
There's no way that's on the teleprompter, guy. I think he has what's something on the teleprompter, and he just kind of riffs off it. Some people say they're the strongest objectives, very strong objectives. If these were objectives, if these objectives were a Marvel character, they'd be the Hulk because they're very strong. It's like, no one put that on your teleprompter, man. Come on.
Earlier today, CENTCOM shared the news that 3 U.S. military service members have been killed in action. As one nation, we grieve for the true American patriots who have made the ultimate sacrifice for our nation, even as we continue the righteous mission for which they gave their lives. We pray for the full recovery of the wounded and send our immense love and eternal gratitude to the families of the fallen. And sadly, there will likely be more. Before it ends, that's the way it is. Likely be more, but we'll do everything possible where that won't be the case. But America will avenge their deaths and deliver the most punishing blow to the terrorists who have waged war against basically civilization.
Yep.
They have waged war against civilization itself. Our resolve, and likewise that of Israel, has never been stronger. America is now again the richest, most powerful nation in the world by far. But the only reason we enjoy the quality of life that we do and the freedom and security is we have done things that others are unable to do. But it's because of warriors who are willing to lay down their lives to do battle with our enemies. And they do battle better than anybody. An Iranian regime armed with long-range missiles and nuclear weapons would be a dire threat to every American. We cannot allow a nation that raises terrorist armies to possess such weapons that would allow them to extort the world to their evil will. Not going to let it happen. We're not happening to us, and we're not going to let it happen to others. The United States has the strongest military the world has ever seen. I rebuilt our military in my first term.
Gotta get credit.
There's never been a military like we possess. And frankly, there's nobody even close, but we are now using that military for good. We want to have it for good purpose.
Yeah.
We're undertaking this massive operation not merely to ensure security for our own time and place, but for our children and their children, just as our ancestors have done for us many, many years ago. This is the duty and the burden of a free people. These actions are right, and they are necessary to ensure that Americans will never have to face a radical, bloodthirsty terrorist regime armed with nuclear weapons and lots of threats. For almost 50 years, these wicked extremists have been attacking the United States while chanting the slogan, "Death to America," or "Death to Israel," or both. They are the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. We are the world's greatest and most powerful nation, so we can do something about what they do. These intolerable threats will not continue any longer. I once again urge the Revolutionary Guard, the Iranian military, police, to lay down your arms and receive full immunity or face certain death. It will be certain death. Won't be pretty. I call upon all Iranian patriots who yearn for freedom to seize this moment, to be brave, be bold, be heroic, and take back your country. America is with you. I made a promise to you, and I fulfilled that promise. The rest will be up to you, but we'll be there to help. Thank you. God bless you to our incredible warriors, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
I said over there to help.
Well, it sounded like he was it sounded like he was saying he'll grant immunity to anyone who basically switches sides right there. Guys, hey, you anyone in the Iranian regime right there, I'd take that deal pretty darn quickly. I'd take that deal pretty quickly there.
Take it while you can.
Wow.
Yeah.
Trump is the greatest boaster. He's so huge. Some say the greatest boaster of all time.
Boasting.
Should I get the Nobel Prize for boasting? Absolutely. But I back it up. You can see, I just back it up. I don't just boast. I back up what I say. You saw it there. All right. Wow. Crazy stuff. Let's take some super chats real quick because we had a bunch of people in here. Did you eat your 7 dates today?
Did you see that, Jai? Did you see our debate?
I did see your debate, yeah. That part, though, I missed, but I saw that there was clips of it, though. Nice clips.
Oh, he just kept going on and on. I'll eat my 7 Ajwa dates. Do you agree to convert? If I eat the 7 Ajwa dates and then I poison myself and I
You had to beg him
survive.
not
It's
to
like,
do it.
dude, do not do that, dude. Do not do that. Oh, man.
Do you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of Islamicize Me. Like the clip from your Islamicize Me came up, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
If Islamicize me were a person, it would be Junior.
Yeah, that's true.
That may be why I like him. Maybe he's like he's reminding me of Islamicize Me or something. The last time David was this early to stream, Iran still had an Ayatollah. That is actually correct, sadly. Just came to say hello and off to bed. It's been a long day. Stay safe, everybody. God bless. Have fun with David.
Okay.
Awesome. Do you think the Ayatollah met the wrestler Iron Sheik on the other side? Do you think the Sheik is making him humble as we speak?
Oh,
Yeah. You guys are probably too young to even remember the Iron Sheik. Shame on you two.
Don't know who he is.
I don't remember.
I think that's the one Hulk
He's a
Hogan.
wrestler, right?
Yeah, Hulk Hogan won. I think, if I recall, I mean, I was like a real little kid, but I think Hulk Hogan won the championship from the Iron Sheik. That's how he originally.
He was Iranian.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was actually
I
Iranian.
think he was actually Iranian.
He was. Yeah. No, he was. Yeah, and then and so that was. I think that was WrestleMania 2, and then WrestleMania 3. He wrestled. Hulk Hogan wrestled Andre the Giant. And that's when it got real big. It wasn't as big before that, but yeah, the Iron Sheik was cool. They partnered him with Nikolai Volkov, who was the Soviet Union guy, and so people hated him. You got the guy who represents Iran, the guy who represents the Soviet Union, and Nikolai Volkov would come in and he would demand everyone respect as he sings the Soviet national anthem and stuff. Those were good days, guys. Those were good days. Whereas it was like good versus evil back then.
It was great.
David, do you prefer modern or old Dawa?
I know the differences. They both have their weaknesses.
Pretty equal.
Yeah, it's like you had a more serious conversation with old Dawa, even though it was stupid. Whereas now it's more chest thump. I like them both for different reasons. Like it's easier to make fun of now. But anyway, Operation Deus Vult will continue until that country is liberated. YouTube censorship. So apparently you're trying to say more than that.
David, I had a question to ask you. So with the old Dawa, did they ever bring up Palestine? Like every single new Dawa representative has to bring up Israel, Jews, and Palestine. Did that come up in old Dawa debates or not?
Not nearly as much, if I recall. But now it's just, I think it's because Dawa has transitioned into like a popularity contest, who can become most popular. It's like an easy way to, get a bunch of people cheering for you, even if your argument is like stupid and terrible.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I think Osama Abdullah is Palestinian, but he never talked about it.
I've seen so many Americans mourning for Khamenei. I cannot find any good reason why anyone would support him, but it's scary and sickening. Yeah, it really seems to just be like people have absorbed the idea that
The globalists don't like
the United States and Israel are both evil, and therefore whatever they're going after must be good. And that seems, because The people,
It's asinine.
yeah, the same people. I'm talking about non-Muslims now. The same people who, oh my goodness, I can't believe they killed this poor man, were dead silent when he was killing thousands of protesters. They didn't say a word. They didn't say a word about that.
So did you hear about that book, or the book in the movie Not Without My Daughter? The book came out in like the 80s, and the movie came out in the 90s. I just recently saw the movie, and it was one of the most horrific things I've ever seen in my life.
Sally Field,
it was very disturbing. I'm like, if I'm married to someone, I'm like, you're my partner. Like, I'm not going to deceive you and lie to you. And it's like, this guy just was so easy. He swore on the Quran, and then he brought her over, and she's like, we're going to go back, right? He's like, no, I think the daughter should be Muslim, and you should too. And I was like, this is like a horror movie. Mm-hmm. And so for me, I was like, is this propaganda? And I said, let me go and fact check it. So I looked up the daughter, who is a grown up now. You know, she's an adult, like in her 40s, I think. And she wrote a memoir, and she's like, yeah, all of this stuff was true. And it was just just tragic. But I said it's important to, sometimes things can be sensationalized. And I said, let's fact check it and make sure. But it seems like the story really checked out on that.
And what's really messed up is I've heard that same story from tons of women over the years. I mean, because I would show up at a conference, and then a woman would ask, can she talk to me during a break? And she would have a very, very similar story. She fell in love with a Muslim man, treated her like a princess. Everything was wonderful, and until they had a child, and then everything changed, and the family started putting more pressure on, and either they would say, oh, let's go visit my family, and let's go visit my family in this country and stuff like that, and then everything would be horrific, and then it's how do I get my daughter back, or how do I get my son back, and stuff like that. Pretty rough, and what's really messed up is even though I've heard that story over and over and over again, the other thing I hear is, David, my sister just fell in love with a Muslim man. She won't listen to anything I say. What do I do? And it'd be to the point where I'd say, right now, nothing you can say is going to convince her. You need to focus on what she needs to do once she finally finds out how horribly wrong she was. What does she do? In other words, you need to start planning her escape and what she's going to do about her kid and so on now, because she's not going to listen to you now. She's not going to listen. They don't listen. And so it's going to have to be later when she realizes it, and you need an action plan in place for what she's going to do. Sucks.
Realities.
Let's see. Zut now, my super chat does through. My first one didn't go through.
Oh, we're having the Zoot problem again.
A Pakistani Christian, love your videos and your discussions on Islam. God bless. I am so sad that people in the West don't realize how dangerous these people are, especially in the UK. Yeah, it's just crazy when the Iranians who are here, they're celebrating and so on, and it's Westerners and stuff who are screaming, "Oh my goodness! I can't believe they took out that poor,
no way,
peaceful, wonderful man. What's wrong with the monsters in charge of our government?" Edith said, "By the way, now I know why AP is too busy. The mystery has been solved. He's doing some important job in Iran. David, please say hello, AP. We miss him." Yeah, no, AP. Well, he'll be back to some extent pretty soon. But he messaged me a couple days ago. He's like, all right, starting Tuesday, I want to go live every single day. I'm like, dude, you might want to start with like once a week or something like that. Because we're having trouble with once a week now. Every single day is kind of, I hope I'd love to be going live every day and stuff like that. But not for like 4 hours every day, but like 1 to 2 hours and stuff like that. Oh yeah, every day. Shout out from atheist fans from Brazil. We like your insights about Islam. Many Brazilians are happy about Khomeini gone. Well, it sounds like Brazilians are a little smarter than Americans and British right now. Hey, Jai, say hello to DOC.
Thank you, Ida. All right, will do.
Have you used the corrupted prophecy dilemma? If Bible corrupted, then if there isn't a prophecy of Muhammad, we don't know if one was removed, and if there is one, we don't know if it was added later. I know that Inspiring Philosophy just came out with some dilemma based on the prophecies, but I haven't watched that yet, so we'll see. I have to see what he's what kind of dilemma he's using, but it's based on the prophecies. There's a certain song released in 1980 by Vince Vance and the Valiants that still hits to this very day. Stupid censorship. All kidding, pray for the oppressed citizens of Iran.
So it's a
Yeah,
dilemma.
they got to be loving life right now. They got launched the friggin' missiles
I
guy.
would say to go look for it
What?
if it's lost.
Without the evil leadership and Islamic government, less people. Without the evil leadership and Islamic government, less people will leave Islam. May al-Zut be upon the false prophet Muhammad. Well, you can't think, well, we want evil leaders and Muslim governments in place because that will help people leave Islam. There can be a trade-off. When you don't see the evil regime and how evil it is, you may not know. I mean, just think about it, because before the Iranian Revolution, that was the idea. We think these guys can do a better job than our current government. So yeah, if we get these guys into power, they assure us it's going to be great. They're just going to take care of us. It's going to be free, all kinds of stuff. The same message you hear in like New York City right now, right? It's just going to be free, everything, and everything's going to be great, and everything's going to be wonderful. But yeah, what you hope for is people have learned their lesson and then don't fall for it next time. But no, you don't want evil scumbags in power and just brutalizing people forever just so some people leave Islam. The Ayatollah believes in the one true God now. Yeah, he knows some things now. The significance is that the caliphate got zooted. It's true. What thou hast sown, thou shalt reap. That's what I was actually thinking, because like I've said it before, like you could be the worst ISIS jihadi, given how screwed up I was. I'm always hoping. I'm not celebrating anyone's death. Up until their dying breath, I hope they will eventually repent and so on and turn away from what they've done. At the end of the day, though, you reap what you sow. If you are committed to just behaving horribly your entire life, you reap what you sow, man. And those who live by the sword shall die by it. Yep, those are life lessons there. I was so sure that Issa's going to come up too.
Like
Hey, Issa.
9:30.
Yeah, Ida cracked the code. Shout out to Malloy Yak, supported Epic Fury.
Epic Fury. It's just a great name.
And I guess the 13th imam in the well is going to be late. Oh yeah. Yeah, no, seriously, you do have to start wondering about the implications here, because
13th.
they had Syria, they don't have Syria anymore. I'm talking about Shias. They had Syria, they don't have Syria anymore. They had Iran, that was their stronghold. I mean, all they did was lose a leader right now. They're getting bombed in various places and stuff, but
Assuming Iran.
the way things are going does not look like the Shias are going to have a regime in place anymore. And so how is that going to affect their belief? And spouse of 11 years cheated emotionally, beyond devastated. Never cheat, my friends. It kills a part of someone's soul forever. I'll never be the same. Yeah, guys, keep your word. Don't cheat. Don't be evil.
Sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah, be trustworthy. Be trustworthy, guys. Me, we should never celebrate the death of anyone. Also me, okay, you can have a little celebration as a treat. That's kind of how I am. And we'll go. We got a bunch more super chats and stuff, but we want to get to some other stuff. When Iran falls and they do a proper census one day, you can remove 63 million Muslims from the already bloated false total. Yeah, so if you look at the official government statistics, like when the government's going around, are you a Muslim? Oh yeah, I'm a Muslim. Are you a Muslim? Oh yeah, I'm a Muslim. Yeah, the poll that was like 4 or 5 years ago that came out, when it's anonymous poll, Iran is a Muslim minority. Iran is a Muslim minority country. Only 40% of the population consider themselves Muslim of any kind. That's Sunni of all backgrounds, Shia, Quranists. So Muslim minority nation. So like, what are they doing? Not just with a Muslim government, but with like an extremist 12er Shia government that the vast majority of the population can't stand. And David, if we want to make fun of you, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I wanted to make one comment. It was interesting because I'm not sure if it was Junior, but it was one of the Muslim debaters recently said Muslims, and I think maybe it was with God Logic, that Muslims are the greatest majority. No, you had done a review, I think I saw, where it was maybe it was that, saying that Islam was the greatest like it's the biggest religion. Maybe it was, I think it was Junior that said it, but he said Islam has the most population. And I was like, wow, that's so wild. And I one of the videos I saw, it was like you kind of critiqued it and you're like, actually it's Christianity that's the highest religion. Maybe it was the other guy who did 26-second saying Islam is the greatest thing or whatever. You know. It was
I do remember that. I forget who that was, but yeah, he was saying, and
that was it. That's
yeah,
what it was.
he was
Sorry.
listing proofs and was one of my proofs. Islam is the biggest religion in the world. Like, no, it's not. So if that's proof, then you just screwed up now. But David, if we want to make fun of you for being late, we are going to do it. Hey, I didn't stop you from complaining. I just made fun of you for being horribly, horribly terrible people for complaining about me all the time. We still appreciate all you do. We're going to make fun of you either way, meow. Good to know. And I will make fun of you in response. All right, guys, we got more super chats, but we want to check out some other stuff. Hey, guys, let's check out some of the Dawa Wars real quick. Okay. Again, guys, I only spent a few minutes just grabbing. I just went around to a couple pages and then saw the completely different reactions to things. So we got Muhammad Hijab here. Muslim governments must make up their minds. Either they unite within the framework of a single Islamic front, or they remain subservient to the Epstein alliance. Russia and China will not come to save us. Well, you're right. Russia and China are not coming to save you, Muhammad Hijab.
Did that say originally in Arabic? Was that translated?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So I guess he was sending that out to all his Arabic-speaking fans and so on. But yeah, you're right, Muhammad Hijab. China and Russia aren't coming to save you. But if you're putting your hope in Muslims uniting, welcome to fantasy land. Population, you. Because that is total fantasy land. And I mean, like, Exhibit A is just how you guys are reacting to this. You guys can't agree on anything. There's nothing you can agree on.
Goes into battle.
The United States and Israel can go bomb the leader of a country, and you guys will start attacking each other instantly. But, we're going to all unite, and we'll be very strong, and then we'll be... Which one's Oh, that's so incredibly dumb. Oh, gosh, dude, you are the worst tactician of all time. I'm glad you're so popular because, man. Let's check this one out. So this is from, this is what Muhammad Hijab is responding to. It says, this is what one ballistic missile did in Tel Aviv. This is why we won't let it build thousands. Why can't you allow Iran to build up tons and tons of weapons? Why are you interfering? Well, because they do stuff like this. And then check out Muhammad Hijab's response. Please post more images and videos of destruction in Tel Aviv so we can see the full extent of the damage. And then look, 5,000 likes.
What a dumbass.
You have any clue how stupid this is? How, like, absolutely insanely stupid. They just took out the leader of Iran. You're like, we killed some people. We dropped a bomb in Tel Aviv. It's the same mentality. It's like they can do devastating damage, like that affects the ummah, like that is catastrophically damaging to the ummah. And you'd be like, but we hurt some people and we damaged a building. What's going to happen to anything you do in Tel Aviv? That's going to be rebuilt by the end of the year. They're resilient. Israel is very resilient. They're resilient. The Ummah's not resilient. You guys take losses and you just, we can't do anything about it. And when people criticize you for having a bunch of crap countries that no one wants to live in, it's like, yeah, but 1,500 years ago, this did, right? It's like, what? What? What are you talking about? 2,000 years ago, this happened in the country, and how do you expect anyone to ever recover, even with Islam? What? The heck is wrong with you, man? You guys moan and wail, because look, and then colonialism. Why haven't you fixed anything since then? I mean, think like World War II, right? European nations bombed each other down to rubble. What happened? They rebuilt. They rebuilt after it. It's resilient. It has resilience. You guys completely lack that. And so anyway. Yes, we really damaged Israel. How much? How much did you damage Israel right now? How much? How much damage did you really do? Long term? None. Zero. You did zero long-term damage to Israel. they just did massive long-term damage to you. And in your mind, oh, as long as we do some damage to them, stupid. And that's why everyone knows you are an absolute tactical moron. Let's check out some more. We have Adnan Rashid here. For all mullah trolls, instead of cursing me. Wait, he said something else. Let me see. Okay, Adnan Rashid. Wait, hang on. Don't I have more? Oh, yeah, here you go. So he posts a picture of the Ayatollah. To hell, and what a wretched fate. To hell, and what a wretched fate. And then everyone jumped all over him. Oh, no, what are you doing? You're doing what? We should all be united right now. Stupid. And Anan says, greatest achievement of Khamenei, destruction of Syria and her people. If you ask the Muslims of Syria and Iraq, he is no different to Netanyahu. Do not pray for this shaitan, rather pray that Allah serves justice for every orphan child in Syria and Iraq. Who's he responding to? He's responding to a bunch of Sunnis going, what? How dare you? How dare you? It's like, what? This guy killed tons of Sunnis, man.
I know, I don't
This guy killed tons and tons and tons of Sunnis. You guys are rooting for him just because it's Israel and the U.S. that took him out?
Yeah.
And then for all mullah trolls, instead of cursing me, respond to these clips. We know Zionists are pigs. May Allah curse them for their crimes. Why are these mullahs our heroes? They are as guilty as the Zionists. They have Muslim blood on their hands. Let the pigs wrestle. How dare you say all that stuff? Don't you know Muhammad Hijab is busy trying to build an alliance of Muslims? And that he's going to unite the Ummah and he's going to be the new caliph? And check this out. The Shias have never conquered... What a stupid criticism. The Shias have never conquered a non-Muslim country in their whole history.
But the Sunnis
They
have
in fact
conquered
betrayed
non-Muslim
Sunni
countries.
Muslims when they became
Why is that a
weak and
good
fell
thing?
short. Iran was a Sunni Muslim country before. If you don't know, Sheikh blah, 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 spoke the truth, which many won't like. And then who do we got responding to this? Daniel Hakikachu. The Wahhabis have never even gone to war against a non-Muslim country. They've only invaded and massacred Muslims. So they're all saying, you're weak. No, you're weak. No, you're weak. No, you're weak. But you're weak. But you're weaker. We've killed more. You've killed haven't killed anybody. Oh my goodness. And then Daniel Hakikachu. Uthman bin Farouk opposes the U.S. attacking Iran. Why is America working for the interests of a foreign nation, Israel? Now the entire Wahhabi network is attacking him and calling him the secret Shi'i. Wow. So Sheikh Uthman, hey, why is the United States at war over there? Why, can we stop this? Can we stop this? And the Wahhabis all jump on him. How dare you? Are you an undercover Shia? These are the guys that Muhammad Hijab's going to unite, everyone. Muhammad Hijab's going to unite the Ummah. And then there'll be a big, strong, united Muslim front. These guys can't agree on anything.
No.
Weak. The Ummah is weak and fractured. And for you Muslims who are watching, here's the issue. If Islam, gets a caliphate and so on, Islam gets a caliphate, and then you have kind of a force that can keep people in line. Even if you have different views and so on, you'll have at least some main force that can keep most people in line, even if they have different beliefs and so on, right? And so you have like one big caliphate, and sometimes that caliphate will become weak, and guess what? They'll be replaced by another caliphate, and then another caliphate will be like the strong main force. Okay, you guys lost your caliphate. Once you lose the caliphate, you don't have that big grand force keeping everyone, kind of in line. What happens then? Well, you're all free to go out and do what you want. And then, boom, then all of a sudden you got 487,000 different sects of Islam all attacking each other as heretics. Now try to unite it after you lost that central force. How do you do that? You can't. You can't. You can't put Humpty Dumpty back together again, buddy. You can't put Humpty Dumpty back together again. You can try, though. We'll love to watch you try.
We'll be watching.
We'll be watching. We'll be watching. All right, guys, you have any thoughts before we jump into another clip?
That's my thought as well. Just a bunch of dollar wars. Basically, it's like, are you Team Shia or Team Zion?
Yo, maybe in the next couple of days we should do, because again, I just went to a couple different Dawa pages, clicked a couple of shots and stuff. I'm sure they're going to be having massive ongoing Dawa wars. So we probably need to have a Dawa Wars Iran edition coming out sometime this week, and we can just put all this stuff together and make fun of these guys.
I think it's really interesting, the kind of tension that's here. Just the sort of hostility, like the anti-Jewish hostility. It's just, it sort of blows my mind, the kind of just the antagonism and anger towards a group of people that they don't even understand or know. And as a person who's been over there 3 times, it's probably one of the best places for Muslims and Middle Eastern folks. You know, it really, like, I went to the Muslim quarter. It was bustling. People were, getting resources. Yes, there's problems with checkpoints and stuff. That is a difficulty because of the tensions in the area. But it's like there's masjids everywhere. Masajid that's everywhere. Like, I don't understand. It's just this. I don't want to say it, but I feel to a degree it's just the idea that Jewish people in leadership is the problem. It doesn't matter how good Israel is to the Christians and the Muslims, the Jewish leadership is to Christians and Muslims. It's always going to be bad. It's always going to be evil because Jewish people in leadership. And I think maybe it's the same way, just the feeling towards like even Christian leadership. There's this like angst and antagonism. And I'm just like, I don't know. I mean, if you have good leadership and people are treating you well and you have good rights, I don't know why you get angry and upset. I don't know. Maybe I don't have that mentality. I just don't understand it.
One second. Laughing my butt off. Either can Christians. I think you mean neither can Christians. And so I think what you're saying is we can't unite either. Dude, one, you don't even understand what the heck you're talking about. Two, I mean, we unite a lot better. I mean, look, when something goes wrong, we're quite frequently on the same page of some horrible tragedy or something like that. But we're not the ones who, we need to unite and take over the world. Our religion doesn't say that we're gonna conquer the world and so on. Your prophet said, I've been shown the east of the east and the west of the west, and I saw that Islam ruled over all that I saw. Islam is going to take over the world. It was a vision given to Muhammad. 2 billion of you can't deal with a tiny little population and a tiny little Israel. You're incredibly weak. How do you get the power to take over the world? How do you unite when you guys can't agree on anything at all? Doesn't work. So quit acting like we're after the same thing here. We're not, and that we have the same problem. We don't. You guys are hopelessly fractured and completely incapable of accomplishing what you think your objective is in this world. There's another one. Has anyone checked on Candace? Yeah, it would be interesting. It would be interesting if she actually talks about something other than Erica lately. Interesting stuff. Hey guys, I'm going to take a couple super chats real quick.
Okay.
Any of you guys out there, and then we'll check out another clip. Any of you guys out there, what's the most important thing going on? And I don't mean big picture, what's the most important thing about the Ayatollah? I mean, the grand ruler of Iran just being taken out like that. What's the big picture as far as Islam goes? I've only been telling you for like 8 years now. Got prune meats. No, I'm asking the people in the chat. I'm asking you don't know either. He says you haven't been paying attention. None of you guys pay attention. Prune says Islam is crumbling. We got Islam is breaking apart and many will come to Jesus. This is all. This is correct, but not what I'm looking for. Earth is being purified. Islam is on the decline. Islam is collapsing in the name of Jesus. Karma is a B. Shows Islam is weak. Military might goes down. Islam is falling. Died like a dove. Apostasy rates will rise. They feel weak. Some of this is on the right track. But I'll just break it down now. As far as what I've been saying, like the grand scheme of things, this is some of what you guys are saying is connected to this issue. But and people are saying other leaders will be terrified. Islam is collapsing in the name of Jesus.
Democracy.
A house built on sand will not last. Yeah, this stuff is kind of connected. But here's the issue. So I mentioned the caliphates, right? So Islam always had a caliphate up until the Ottoman Empire fought in World War I and lost. And shortly after, the caliphate collapsed. They lost their caliphate. Now, they had lost caliphates before, but that was when it was being replaced by another caliphate. So you still had a caliphate. You still had a caliphate. When the Ottoman caliphate collapsed, it was not replaced by another caliphate. It was Western nations that were more powerful. And then what happened? Then the French and the British, after World War I, went over and took over massive parts of the Muslim world and decided how they were going to divide them up into different countries and stuff. They said, hey, and then after World War II, hey, let's put Israel right there. Let's put Israel right there, right?
Yeah.
That was massively traumatic to the Ummah. Now, for the first time, we have no caliphate, and we have no hope of rebuilding the caliphate because these other nations are way, way more powerful than us. That was traumatic, and a bunch of people lost their confidence in Islam. You saw people in Pakistan, Afghanistan, they were modernizing. Iran, they were modernizing. They started living and dressing and so on like Westerners. Women were going out and going to computer school and engineering school and stuff like that.
They're into it.
So it was just, okay, we lost. The attitude of lots of people was we lost. Islam lost.
Are completely different.
Islam lost. It's been falsified. That was the psychologically, that was the impact it had on people. But you got the possible alternative explanation that came along. We've been through this before. But then an alternative explanation came along. The alternative explanation was not that, oh yeah, Islam is falling because it's false and it's not taking over the world. The alternative that came along was, yes, we lost to these Western nations. Yes, it looks like Allah's not on our side, but that's because Allah's punishing us for not being strict enough in enforcing Sharia. That was the response. It's not that Islam is false. It's that Allah is punishing us because we haven't been devout and strict enough, and we've gotten way too lax in everything. So the solution is we have to crack down, be forceful, crush all heresy, and so on. And this went in two different directions. You had the Sunni direction that gives rise to like the Muslim Brotherhood and so on. You had the Shia direction. That's like the Iranian Revolution. Both of them, there was the same mentality. It's we haven't been strict enough and devout enough. And so if we do that, then Allah's going to bless us again, and then we'll start taking over again. Okay.
You have to look at politics.
That was the plan, and you tried it. How well is that working out in Iran? That's right, it just collapsed. That entire theory, as far as the Shia wing, that just collapsed. You lost. You tried it. We'll be very strict. We'll toss people who refuse to wear the hijab in prison or kill them and so on, and then Allah will bless us for acting like this.
How's that make sense?
Oh, really? Because it looks like you're the leader of your entire movement just got bombed, and it doesn't look like you're making any sort of comeback. So basically, the Shia wing just lost, and it's not looking much better for the Sunni version. Because you had it sort of full culmination in ISIS, and that lost and so on. But anyway, the Sunni version isn't doing too well either. And guys, you can't kind of overstate the significance of this. It's, wait a minute, Islam is lost, Islam is weak. That's not supposed to be that way. We're supposed to be taking over the world. We're supposed to expand until we take over the world. And we just got crushed in World War I. And we have no hope of rising to power. We have no hope of taking over these Western nations. We're way too weak. Alternative explanation. Allah is punishing you because you're not being strict. Okay. ISIS was very strict. They lost. Iran, very strict. They lost. Now where are you going? Now they're only, you still got the Sunni mentality and so on, so it's still alive in various spots. But now kind of the only possible alternative that remains is maybe Allah is helping us conquer these Western nations by different means, by us having really terrible countries and we want to get out of them, and then we go to Western countries and eventually maybe we take them over. And we'll just take over, and we'll become mayors of various cities and so on. Maybe that's how Allah is taking it. That's like the last hope psychologically in Islam. So the alternative explanation for why Allah wasn't blessing you to do what you're supposed to do in this world, you had the Shia version, it just lost. The Sunni version is losing. Now kind of the only hope that they have that's left is based on Western leaders and stuff saying, yeah, just keep bringing it in more, yeah, we'll show you how tolerant we are by making you leaders and letting you do whatever you want to tens of thousands of young girls and so on. And if you can somehow crush that hope, there is no hope left, guys. There's just no hope left. Because it's a mentality of you're supposed to be dominating the world. And as soon as it's, well, we're not. And by the way, we talk lots about Muhammad Hijab's, that poll he ran years ago, not in the sense, but that poll he ran all those years ago where he asked Muslims, specifically, when you doubt Islam, what is it that's causing your doubts? And the number one answer was moral problems with Muhammad. That's the biggest cause of doubts for Muslims. But we don't always bring up the number two. Islam is number two, by the way. The number two response was the weakness of the ummah. The weakness of the ummah causes them to doubt Islam because the ummah is not supposed to be weak. The ummah is supposed to be strong. And so, psychologically speaking, from an Islamic perspective, if you're a Shia,
shipping all this,
your hopes just got crushed, man. Like, how do you can still have some vague hope in the future, and that may work for some people, but a lot of people are just going to be devastated and, oh my goodness, we lost. It's not working. We're not taking over. We're not taking over the world. We're not defeating the Sunnis. We're not defeating anybody.
God will break it in pieces.
We're toast. And the same sort of thing is going on with Sunnis. It's like, why? I mean, there's 2 billion Muslims, and we can't beat a couple of Jews, man. We can't beat a handful of Jews.
Can't go into it fully, but we're in the feet of clay. Right?
That is, they run their mouth, oh, we're taking over the world. Inside, they are psychologically being destroyed. The world is not supposed to be like this. So as far as like big picture is concerned, you had 3 options. You had 3 options as far as like what could possibly happen that would be somehow consistent with Islam about how we actually move forward, and Islam is going to turn out to be true. We didn't, Shias are right, and we just got to be strict. We just got to be really strict in imposing Shia Islam, or Sunnis. We have to be really strict in imposing Sunni Islam, or Allah's just doing it a different way. He's having us. He's letting our countries crumble horribly, and he's just going to use that to help us take over these places. Well, one of those just collapsed. The other one's collapsing, and if you could just deal with that third one, like stop thinking that you're going to take over Western nations by.
He's totally cool. He doesn't care about doing his stream on another stream. They don't care. I already know about him. So I'm going to stop it there now. You can go over to Apologetics Roadshow to see the rest of it.